Ah, bueno. Bueno. Que tiene migrañas. O sea, le ofrezco ayudarle de un disparo o no sé qué narices. Y me dice que me largue. Bueno, pues a lo mejor, en vez de ayudarte, te como el cuello.
A ver, chavales.
Adiós, no te da mierda.
Tengo
Do you need
la
assistance?
revista esta para la
Feeling tired
Vampyr,
these days.
ofrece remedios.
There
Sí,
you
lo
go.
tengo, menos mal, chaval.
Let's hope nobody steals
Yo no
it
tengo
from
nada,
you.
vale, no tengo
Very
nada.
funny.
Yo quiero ver
Goodbye,
escondido.
young man.
Vale, pues ya he curado este.
Bronchos or litter in the
que
streets.
son
Not me.
Buenas noches, señorita. Hagamos un trato, ¿qué me das?
¿Dónde estoy?
El otro, un
Estoy
poquito de
aquí.
droga.
Claro, que viene escondite.
Steve Curry.
Stephen Curry.
No sé quién es, sé quién es.
Por ahí. Ay, quiero comerme una rata.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Están ricas las ratas, Adri.
¿Está pica qué?
Y tijera y un anillo. Toque de caro, genial. Ahora, aquí voy para West End. Mira que para West End. A ver, Paco.
Effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Hola, niños.
¡Hola!
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region
Me estoy
itself is
imaginando a
something
Mark metido en un callejón oscuro llamando a los niños que pasan por la calle.
to see. But I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Da igual tu vida de mierda.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Tiene que contarme su vida. Le pregunto que si quiere ayuda. Me empieza a contar su vida.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
¿Qué está el niño tan fuerte? ¿Qué ves? comprar esto, aparte de que vale un pastón.
Ah, bueno. Un cadáver aquí en la calle y nadie se da cuenta. Normal, ¿no? Todos los días en Londres el Cheru va matando gente por ahí.
Vale,
Dead inside. Dead inside. Bueno, pues yo voy a entrar.
bueno, pues yo voy a entrar.
Tipo, si muero, pues bueno, vámonos. O sea, más de 360, ¿no? Este Cari.
Encuentra a Darius Petrescu.
Ese tío es un grande.
Petrescu, un puto romano, ¿sabes?
Petrescu.
This is despicable.
Despicable. Fíjate cómo era Londres por aquella época que suelen muertos por las calles, ¿sabes? Gente muerta.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions.
Aquí va a
May
estar
I
el de
enter,
nuevo,
please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on then. I'm a Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which... What can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. But look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Esencia de clavo.
It's locked, all right.
Locura.
¿Por qué?
¿Qué le pasa? Aquí se ve como. He pasado por los 3 bordones y ya está.
Even my dreams are...
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Be careful.
Even my dreams are so blue.
Don't let your guard down, sir. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious nurse Crane
Salicina.
gives away medical
¿Qué?
Salicina. ¿Dónde se consigue eso?
Eso no tengo ni puta idea. Salicina, no sé.
supplies and prescriptions for
Ah,
free.
verdad, no tengo solución.
I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
No sé cómo la conseguí, pero... Esto y esto. Vale.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Joder, amigo yo, tío. Se la está buscando.
Esto es una locura.
As a merchant,
Nivel 12, Mario. Nivel 12.
you see
Must be
Whitechapel
rebobo.
every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a
Ahora en el
bottomless
hospital
pit,
me he levantado
and no
4
sign of the
enfermos.
bottom yet.
¡Oh, alegría! Y el hombre es otros dos.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Me caga que
Yeah.
se pongan malos.
A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned
Cefalia.
workshops. Fever.
Cefalia.
Madness, something like that.
Cefalia,
Where
otro.
did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Show me what you have. Show me what you have. Just show me the hand. ¿Lo ves? Mira, esto me interesa. Me interesa. Muelle, vale. Voy a comprar.
No te manda el culo. 3 cefaleas y 1 de agotamiento. Tengo que hacer.
Seguro de estos.
No tengo salicina, tío. No tengo salicina y no me gusta nada eso.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
A ver.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
Que mira, no, tratamiento para. A ver.
Nuevo coleccionable, muchas gracias. Yo no te mama el culo.
Wow, 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 wow. Ah. Aquí en teoría dentro no tengo mierda.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am.
Dios.
Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Estado del distrito,
According to
grave.
you,
Muchas gracias.
physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost.
No, le doy
even at the
medicamento y me dice,
expense
mueras
of
eso.
others.
Vale, tío. Ahora te muevo el cuello.
Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons. And that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really
Este
think
que
he's the
tiene
poor
migraña,
victim
toma,
here?
te juro.
Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Tira para casa, anda, tira para casa, tira para casa. No, este directamente no ha dicho nada,
Seguro esa mierda.
Ya.
Why do you keep
Tengo
on
que encontrar
working
al
for the
calvo
gang,
este.
Joe?
¿Dónde está?
You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. And people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak. And there's no way he'll endure
Contra
another
varios pretextos.
disappointment.
Varios pretextos el calvo.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else.
Es que me da
Whatever he
igual
may
todo.
think.
Yo solo quiero encontrar
Our
al
house
calvo.
is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little.
Vale, te has encontrado al calvo de...
She gave the boy
de este,
confidence.
de Whitechapel.
Calvo.
Since the criminal nature
El
of
calvo,
your
el
job means
marido
you
de la
could be
fiesta.
arrested, are you not afraid of what would
Recuerdo.
happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son
¿Calvo?
away from me.
¿Eres tú?
If that ever occurred,
Se
I'd hunt
llama
the bastard down and rip off his head with my
Mason
bare
Samboru.
hands.
¿No?
Mason Samboru.
Mason. Alex Mason.
Mason. Sí,
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
todo eso.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these
Cuando
days,
recorrido aquí el mapa,
he's
24
just
veces,
another
pero el
thug.
calvo no aparece.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you,
Con el
obviously.
calvo de lado, tío.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times,
Un jugador de
haven't we?
baloncesto no se va a lesionar la mandíbula.
And most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
Ah, pues entonces no. Pueden ser repercusiones de los entrenamientos, ¿no? En serio. Puede empezar a... ¿Sabes qué pasa? ¿Has tenido alguna lesión en la rodilla? ¿Nunca has tenido ninguna lesión? Es que al haber tenido una lesión o dolores en una rodilla y al haberse deteriorado los huesos, cuando entra el frío y entra el invierno, los huesos se estremecen y empiezan a doler un poco. No, sí, cuando me rompí el hombro a mí me lo dijeron los médicos, que cuando empezase a entrar el frío, el otoño viene adentro, la Navidad tal, me iba a empezar a doler el hombro, pero que no me rayase por eso, que era normal, que el frío hace que te duelan los huesos que tienes más trabajados o más castigados.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to
Da
stand
igual tu
against
vida,
a
te lo he
wet
dicho 3000
boot boy.
veces.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile, not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy,
Aléjate de
and
mí,
he
hijo
spends
de
most of his
mierda.
time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis. Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Calvo, nada, aquí aparece todo el mundo menos el calvo, tío.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
So,
Ahora que estoy buscándolo
May I
al
ask
calvo,
you a
aparecen
few
todos los
questions?
personajes
I'm
de
not bothered.
Whitechapel, no sé
What
calvo.
could be worse?
your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
No, investigación. Si se creen aquí que voy a hacer ahora
But you
investigación.
are not responsible for your
Estoy
father's
buscando al calvo.
actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety.
Error de pista.
So
Me
if I
cago en todo.
wasn't born,
El padre
people
Tobias.
wouldn't be
El
worried.
padre Tobias, tío.
El padre
Se llama así, padre Tobias.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
El padre todavía. A ver,
Padre Tobias te le va a morder el cuello, tío.
Yo te decía una cosa, tío, yo no sé dónde tengo que ir, tío.
Yo sí, pero es que... Tengo que buscar al calvo.
Tengo que encontrar a Darius Petrescu, tío.
Ofrecerme... Que todo el mundo está enfermo, ¿sabes? Madre mía.
Sí, da pena el éxito esto. ¿Sabes por qué está todo el mundo enfermo aquí, no? Porque no hay médicos.
No hay nada, no hay nada.
Es verdad, por eso solo viene la doctora Dorothy Crane aquí a ayudarles un poco, ¿sabes?
Se molan todos, tío. Yo no quiero que me cuentes tu vida. Coño.
Quiero encontrar al calvo.
¿Qué es eso? Quiero buscar al calvo, tío. ¿Tú lo has encontrado al calvo?
No, yo no he visto ni al Darius Petrescu, estoy hablando aquí con la gente de Whitechapel, tío.
Yo tampoco he visto al Darius Petrescu. ¿Por qué?
No sé dónde está, pero debe ir por él.
Petrescu sí, ¿de dónde sale? Sí, verdugo. Vale. Un verdugo. Se va aquí con... Vale.
Una folla, ¿no?
No sé, la he quitado. La he archivado. La he archivado.
It's locked.
Porque sí. Sí, me da igual. ¿Qué es eso? Ah, bueno, un hombre lobo gigante.
Ah, bueno, un hombre lobo gigante. Ah, bueno, un hombre lobo gigante, no pasa nada.
Que yo quiero al calvo, no al hombre lobo.
Joder, me estoy empezando a pensar que te toca viendo Fast and Furious, con mi Diesel.
No, tío, pero que el calvo, tío, que da como 20 vueltas al mapa ya y no aparece. ¿Dónde está? ¿Qué está haciendo?
¿Quién coño es el calvo aquí?
El calvo, tío, el calvo, mira. Te vas y un calvo, el único calvo que hay. ¿Ves a la Loreta Sanborg? Vete al mapa, esta madre de los ciudadanos.
A ver, le doy al mapa.
La del medio, la Dorothy Crane, ¿no?
Sí,
La izquierda, Loreta Sanborg.
sí.
La izquierda, el calvo.
¿Para qué buscas ese calvo?
Que me sale, porque está malísimo, se va a morir. Me sale que está malísimo, tío. Que salen como 3 soles, tío. 3 soles, no 1, 3.
Está malísimo, se va a morir. ¡Ay, un hombre lobo gigante! A ver, te para la parte de atrás de un edificio se encuentra un lobo gigante.
Todo, sí, todo ya, todo. En contra de todo,
Menos al calvo.
Señora, ¿dónde está tu marido? A ver. Voy a hablar a su mujer, a ver si me dice dónde narices está. A ver, pregunta.
¿Para qué se mueve?
Vale, es un... A lo mejor no me dice nada, mierda.
Ojo, otro hombre lobo ahí dentro, pero ¿esto qué es?
Voy a volver a buscar el por esta zona.
En punta del señor Petrescu.
No, Petrescu no es el calvo. Petrescu es otro, tiene pelo.
A mí no me sale ese enfermo.
Joe Petrescu. Ya, pero porque tú no estás en mi partida, ¿sabes? A mí sí me sale que está enfermo. Es muy enfermo, se va a morir.
Adri, mientras no pases de día no se va a morir, tranquilo.
Ya, pero es que... Mi intención es pasar, ¿sabes? Al siguiente día porque tengo aquí mucha prisa.
Necesitas meterte XP al personaje.
Pero tengo enfermos en todos lados, tengo enfermos en el hospital, en todos lados ya, tío. ¡Hala! Oye, ¿te has encontrado con un tío que te lanza gas tóxico?
No sé, no.
¿Que me ha reventado? ¿He muerto?
Aquí hay otro hombre. Otra bestia grande.
Pónmelo. Algo más. Han muerto. Llega el tío de gas, me deja un toque y llega el hombre lobo volando y me mata.
El hombre lobo volando. Te viene hasta hombre lobo volando,
No.
Al final el atributo del juego, lo estoy viendo venir.
Me meto en Instagram y me sale la foto de un calvo. ¿Quién?
Hay un tío que suelta gas.
Sí, ya verás, como te toque el gas estás muerto.
No, me lo cargué.
Vale, puedo matar dos golpes, ¿sabes? Ya le tienen que matar ahí, le lanza la super y no ha muerto.
Aquí se me apaga la tele. Cago en Dios. No se sabe todavía nada. Madre, pues yo me he soltado la ulti y me he cargado los tres.
Ya, tío, muy bien. Yo no.
¿Dónde está el
Buscando
Petrescu?
el Petrescu no, el calvo.
¿Pero el Petrescu ya lo has visto?
No, sé dónde está, pero no quiero verla.
Ya, yo sé dónde está también, pero no he entrado todavía a verle.
Claro, tampoco... Ahora mismo mi objetivo es el calvo. Pues no sé.
¿Un gol tienen calabazas?
Es nueva. No la he escuchado. Luego la escucho.
Hola, vibes.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can
Hombre, luego
Christina
me
do
metes a
for
pegar unas
you?
cosas.
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if
La
I
verdad es que esta
may.
ataque
I'm a
es como una
doctor,
mierda, ¿sabes? No hace nada.
Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I
Vale, pero aquí
usually
creo que no
get
pasa
paid.
antes, o sea que sí o sí tiene que estar aquí el calvo.
¿Qué me has pasado por TikTok, Adri?
Bestia grande, ¿esto ahora qué es? Otro hombre, ¿no? Como me mate el lobo me voy. Ah, nada más. Bueno, ya me he perdido, tío, no sé ni dónde estoy.
¿Qué juego es ese, Adri?
Deja de pegarme, tío, que no se estoy pegando, tío, estoy buscando al calvo
Adri,
y
¿qué
viene
juego es
aquí a
este, tío?
pegarme. ¿Qué? ¿Qué juego?
Sí.
¿El Vampyr?
¿Tú eres tonto? Digo, lo que me has pasado por TikTok.
No sé ni lo que pasa.
Un vídeo un vídeo de miedo.
Ah, no sé, un tío ahí jugándolo.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke
Calvo.
Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be
A ver.
helpful.
I don't know her,
Y vuelvo
but
a
I know her
principio.
name is Dorothea
Esto es un
Krashenescu.
laberinto.
She came from
puerta
Romania
no
like
abrirá.
me and
Mucho.
many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London,
¿Calvo?
and you
No,
could
este
be
no es el calvo,
exposed, or expose
Vale,
others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals,
Vale, a ver.
but I don't like
No sé,
you
por aquí,
asking
calvo,
questions.
pero...
Considering your
No,
line
no,
of
la raza por el
work,
camino,
I
no tengo
assure
hambre.
you it is only a matter of time before you have
Calvo,
health
calvo.
issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
Calvo, está
Right
por aquí.
now, I need money. That's what's important.
Calvo.
You can put your own life in danger,
Si no lo
that's your
encuentro en 5
decision.
minutos me voy.
But
A
what
la
about
hospital.
your
Si
clients?
se muere el calvo se ha muerto, tío.
If you're
ya aparezco.
contaminated, you will put them in
¿Y por qué no
danger.
miras en internet?
And you think that would worry me?
Pero que van
If
dando
you
por
knew
todo el
the
mapa
men
los
I deal
personajes.
with, their health would not be what you'd
Yeah.
worry about.
Joder,
A ver dónde puede estar, ¿sabes?
voy a buscarlo. ¿Cómo se llama?
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me?
Mason Fanboru.
People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
Mason,
I have no interest in your work.
lo que dice.
I am, however,
sé
curious
bien
as to what
de-
led
de-
you
de
into this
Gonzalo.
career.
Short story. The
Ah,
war,
que estaba haciendo una
exile, and England. This country is not especially
Los he
welcoming.
visto antes.
I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Vale. Yo sé, pero ya pasó antes.
I always thought I was the
Ah, bueno,
master
está la
of
otra
my
cosa.
own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge
vale,
you.
You
está.
know, this money is not
Literalmente
only
está la-
for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Goodbye.
Aquí manches tantos agotados en el pueblo
Take
este.
care of yourself as best you can.
¿Me las pasas tú, Marco? ¿O qué? Ah. Tantos agotados, tío, en este puto sitio, tío.
Oh, vale, me he encontrado un tío que no es el calvo.
Anda, un calvo.
Excuse me, sir.
Madre
Yo creo que voy a ir al Black Ops.
You familiar with this part of
Cuando
town?
cura te quiera
Name's
un-
Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr.
¿Qué
Reed,
tratamiento quieres tomar,
a
tío?
famous
Joder, pa.
surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist
Sí,
doing
a
in
mí
this
te mola
borough
si
after
maneras más
sunset?
todo.
He goes where none of his colleagues
Opa.
would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
No jodas.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Ah.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and
Me
hide
he
more
encontrado ahora
than
mismo con un
once
tío.
from frenzied
Me he encontrado
mobs
con Jesucristo ahora
incensed by the
mismo. Va con un
fever.
palo aquí.
Do you think the
Estos
flu
que
is
te
really
dejan
responsible for
ciego.
this, Doctor?
Sí.
Pues me he encontrado contra un boss. Rebel. Por ahí. Joder, ya.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't
Largo la
mean
escopeta.
there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view,
Me dan
Doctor.
golpes más, me acuerdo.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body
No,
because she
no, no, no,
can't
no.
find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only
No me ha ganado,
improve.
tío.
And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
I'm cheap
Most of them don't speak English.
No he visto el juego.
¿Qué te ha pasado?
Estaba yendo por el calvo, entró en una zona que pone cuarentena. Digo, bueno, de ver qué es. 80 minutos ahí dentro. Vamos.
Vale, literalmente, Adri, todos los que estoy descubriendo en este pueblo, menos una mujer y un hombre, 2 mujeres y un hombre, están enfermos de algo, tío.
Sí, sí, todo el mundo está mal aquí.
Y todos por agotamiento, ¿eh?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Very well. Goodbye then.
Te iba a decir que te pasaba a mi médico, pero solo puedo usarlo yo, tío. No, es que tengo un médico que te atiende online y por videollamada o por llamada.
¿Y qué le dices? ¿Que te empieza a tocar la rodilla virtualmente?
No, pero te puede... Pero todo eso, tú te explicas todos los síntomas y un médico sabe perfectamente lo que te pasa, ¿sabes? Y te da receta y todo por... Te da receta y todo por videollamada. Te la pasa por... Mientras hablas con el por videollamada te la pasa por chat y vas a la farmacia por la receta y esas movidas, ¿sabes? Bueno, pues yo creo que esto...
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Tengo que ir aquí. ¿Por? Pues eso es porque está cambiando con Play 5 seguro. Siempre doy la misma excusa.
Estoy contigo en el modo Warfare cuando te carguen, ¿no?
Anda un puro loco. Aquí, tío.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize.
I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Ya, se te he dicho que ha pasado la mía. Estaba viniendo yo por el parque este donde
What do
salimos
you
a correr
mean
en
when you
Educa.
say that I am more
Estaba ahí
lost than you
Jacobo,
thought?
Ruby,
All
Mangut,
scientists
toda
are
esa gente.
entangled in a world of causes and
Bueno,
consequences.
Ruby no estaba.
And most of them can't see the plain
Garci
truth.
estaba,
Quite a
Carre,
judgmental
Montero,
opinion,
todo
if
ese
you
grupo.
ask me. But what do
Y
I
cuando
know?
estoy llegando ya a Nisti, veo que
Blinded
Sam me
by
está bajando con
science
otro
as I
tío.
am.
But
Creo
you are
que ni me ha
seeking
mirado, ¿sabes?
answers, aren't
Y digo,
you?
bueno,
Answers about the Armageddon about to strike
Dame
the
de leer.
city. Answers about the hidden truth.
come uno, ahora ya está conmigo.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition.
Un momento. Hay que tener cuidado.
What do you mean when you say that I am
Tiene
more
bastante
lost
cuidado.
than you thought?
All scientists are
Teniendo problemas
entangled
a
in
la
a
hora de
world of causes
configurarme.
and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you
Pero tú
are
eres una
seeking
maderera.
answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Mira,
Dime, ¿qué pasa?
eres una MDLR.
Yo sí, yo siempre me DLR, fuck the police and viva los porros.
I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called
Eso te perdono.
As a
Vamos
doctor,
a jugar.
you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those
de la canción del
minions from the
Blueface.
abyss.
Calabazas, aquí está. ¿Remix
Really?
o no remix?
And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease
Yo solo veo
before this
remix,
legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the
voy
cleansing
al
of this
videoclip.
city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Science and progress are our only hope against the monstrosity hidden behind this epidemic.
See, Doctor?
No,
Now you acknowledge the presence of evil within the city's walls. Now you start to admit the truth.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
Como
No.
naval.
But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Voy a cambiar respawn, veo que hay cosas que no entiendo.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Este mapa está muy raro, tío, de las banderas. Mira que lo he visto. Cuidado que hay una ópera. Todo, que estaba perfecto. sea, en el modo Warfare 3 no era así. Este mapa, ¿cuánta gente hay aquí? En el modo Warfare 3 este mapa no era así.
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace.
Good evening,
Otro
sir.
estilo de juego
I'm
también de
Dr.
la gente.
Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really?
Vampyr.
Are you an artist of
Es
some
que la
kind?
gente juega
I'm a
como si esto
poet,
fuera Rainbow
sir.
Six, ¿sabes?
Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Mirando.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to
Míralo,
feel
míralo.
the real
Yeah.
beat of the city. I had to come, see it
verdad.
for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family
Blah, blah, blah.
despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it.
Dear, no.
She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there...
A un tío le han baneado por lo de... Como supuestamente dicen que te están grabando el chat de voz, pues le han baneado a un tío por eso. Ya, pero no sé, que te baneen, que diga lo que quieran, no te pueden banear.
Not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
¿Por?
Ahí. A uno le di confianza, se enamoró y tuvo que caer. No, 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 no. Por eso que yo soy hueputa. Y gracias a esa puta fue que yo perdí. O algo así. Oh, ya la conozco. No quiero. Amor, Hola, hola, Adri, Adri, Adri. Adri. Flipando. Hay un enemigo en el videojuego que directamente te apunta con una cruz y con la luz de la cruz te mata.
Vale. Os ha dicho exactamente lo mismo antes.
¿Así? Reverendo Kane.
Sí, sí. He hecho exactamente lo mismo antes. He dicho, un tío va con una cruz y te hace daño.
Pues me saco la bestia y le reviento. No le he hecho nada a la bestia. Toma, Reverendo Kane. Toma.
Sí, ten cuidado, como te ve con el palo ya lo matas.
Voy a sacar mi escopeta. Ahí está. Hostia, el palo lo que queda, ¿no? Muerto el Reverendo Green.
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Este juego...
Ella conmigo jugó y ahora con otra yo juego.
Vale.
Cuarentena, ¿entro aquí, Adri?
Sí, ahí he muerto yo y por eso me he ido.
¿Pero qué pasa aquí dentro?
Tú entras.
No, cuéntamelo. No entro,
encuentras?
No.
Pues no antes.
¿Pero quién hay dentro?
El Demogorgon está dentro.
¿El qué?
El Demogorgon.
Anda, mira, el calvo, Adri, hostia.
Y ahí está el calvo. Menos mal.
3 y un resfriado. Un resfriado es...
Vale.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ahí está la balde.
Adri, ¿dónde está para la cefale esa mierda? ¿Es el cadáver que tiene el cuerpo? ¿Que tiene los remedios?
No sé.
¿Dónde lo habías cogido, no?
Me lo han dado en un cofre.
¿Eh?
Me lo han dado en un cofre. Sale un cadáver que lo han dado. Me estoy... No, negro. Vale. De verdad que la M4 es muy buena.
is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
La gente se está yendo. Vale. Viene el helicóptero. No, tío, qué pesado de verdad el tío ese. ¿En dónde? ¿En dónde? ¿En qué esto? Bueno.
This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
No tan menos.
Me ha matado un zombie, o sea, un vampiro de estos, tío. Uno normal y corriente.
Un bot. Pero hay gente que... Hostia. Una mierda. A mí todos ya, todos. Yo muero. No puedo matar, o sea... No puedo, tío, no puedo. No puedo. Aparezco donde están todos ellos.
This is despicable.
Como no empieza a matar, me voy.
What do you want? Somebody help! Somebody help!
La 100 me la había sacado yo, está muy cheta.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoxun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
It's locked. Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel.
Vale.
No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
Bajar proportion. Nice. 14 kills, vamos. Que no puedo matar, o sea, no mato. Bueno. Es que... Tiro lejano, 13 metros. No es tiro lejano, 13 metros. Yo no mato, tío. Ya, sí. Un poco más si te corta un brazo, ¿sabes? La tiro de ahora. De verdad. Buena partida, la verdad. Bueno, ya era la muerta. Ah, bueno. Qué guay. Voy con el franco este de mierda. Ya han muerto. Ya han muerto. Y voy a partir la play de un puño. De la tío. Hay 220 personas y no pasa nada. Joder, tío, me molesta el juego, te lo juro. No juego. Entretenido, pan, divertido, sí. ¿Cómo me suicido, tío? Uf. Con karma voy, tío, es que ya no sé ni con qué jugar. Me voy. Paso a jugar la play. No sé, yo me iré, no, tengo sueño. Mm. Ya, yo mañana tendré que leer libros, economía, literatura, un poco, muchas cosas. Ah, bueno. Hombre. No. Ah, sí, en vez de leer se llama. Sí, sí, le hablo en Instagram
Esos
que tiene un
chavales, ¿qué
clan que se
pasa,
llama
guarros?
MDLR.
He ido a la cocina y eso por cosas de comer. Yo soy así, llegué, me fui. Toma.
¿Qué? ¿Por qué? No. Bueno, un poquito bastante.
As I feared. Samuel no longer preaches the good word. I have this